Protests rock the Wisconsin city of Kenosha following the police-involved shooting of Jacob Blake. Blake's shooting, captured on cell phone video, appears to show officers following Blake to his car, then shooting him while his back is turned. Outrage over the shooting fuels night after night of unrest. Protesters and counter-protesters clash. This night ends with 2 dead and 1 injured. In the melee is 17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse. The Illinois resident crossed state lines on August 25th, telling local media he was there to protect property. By daybreak, he was a wanted person. Video captured with a cell phone appears to show Rittenhouse running through the street as others race toward him. Some accuse him of being a shooter. Then there are shots.
People are getting shot all around us. People are just getting shot everywhere, guys.
Video from a different angle of the confrontation shows the gunman firing multiple rounds as a crowd surrounds him. The gunman moves away, walking with his hands raised in what seems to be a surrender as police roll by. Rittenhouse makes his way home to Illinois that night while police try to make sense of what happened.
The radio traffic was nonstop, and there were people running all over the place.
Shot to death is 26-year-old Joseph Rosenbaum in a parking lot. Moments later, in a second clash that was caught on camera, Anthony Hubert is killed and Gage Grosskreutz is injured. Rittenhouse is charged with several felonies, including 2 counts of intentional homicide, attempted homicide, and possessing a deadly weapon while under 18. The gun charge in particular has been the source of heated exchanges between prosecutors and the defense.
As to 29593, that has to do with hunter certification. If an individual is out hunting, and that's what Mr. Binger was hanging his hat on. There is no allegation anywhere that my client was hunting on August 25th.
There's no dispute in this case that Kyle Rittenhouse armed himself with an AR-15 on August 25th, 2020 at the age of 17 years old. That's it. It's that simple. Now, if the defense wants to hide behind hunter safety regulations to try and excuse that behavior, then I'll simply quote back what Attorney Richards just said, which is, the defendant wasn't hunting.
At his bond hearing, Rittenhouse's lawyer argues that the teen acted in self-defense.
The state can bury their head in the sand, and in reality, who struck my client first? Who attacked my client first? We're not talking about demonstrators. We're talking about rioters who had ill intent in their heart.
Also at the hearing is Anthony Hubert's father.
Kyle Rittenhouse thinks he's above the law.
He wants the judge to keep Rittenhouse behind bars while he awaits trial.
He was an active shooter, and he tried to flee. And my son lost his life protecting other people. He was a hero.
The case against Rittenhouse has attracted high-profile supporters, including Silver Spoon's actor Ricky Schroeder. He helps post the hefty $2 million bond that allows Rittenhouse to be free while he awaits trial. Disappointing news to a grieving father.
There's people out there raising money right now, making it their own fight, that it's about gun rights, and it's not about gun rights. My son was killed. Another man was killed. They didn't deserve to be killed.
Joining us now in Minneapolis, Minnesota, criminal defense attorney Joe Tamburino. Joe, thanks so much. Great to see you. Am I overstating it? I mean, do you get the same feeling that this is like the most divisive case that I've ever come across? I mean, people have passionate opinions on polar opposite sides, and I don't know if you could ever convince someone to see this case differently.
Hi, Vinny. Thanks for having me on. Yes, I fully agree. This is a polarizing case. And what makes it even more interesting is the following. It starts with a police officer involved shooting, white officer, black victim, but really winds up in a case that involves only white people. The defendant, Mr. Rittenhouse, is white, and the 3 victims are white. So it's really a different spin on everything.
So let's talk about Kenosha, Wisconsin. Let's talk about who the potential jurors will be here. And I'm thinking, you know, people can say they can be fair and impartial, but who doesn't have an opinion on this one? This one breaks down like on political lines. I mean, it's just the way it is. And what is the jury pool in Kenosha, Wisconsin? How do they break down? And do you think that jurors will come in there and say, yeah, I could put aside what I think about this case? Because I just see it in people's eyes and in their voices when we talk about it.
Well, I think you're absolutely correct, because this will completely polarize jurors. Now, I believe, based on the court's scheduling, that they will have a jury questionnaire ready to go out in August, and the trial is not till November. So they do have several months to sift through how many questionnaires they go through and try to determine who will be in the final pool that they will go through jury selection. I think it'll be a very long process and it'll be difficult, but really, what else can they do? They have to try the case and they have to get a jury.
So let's get to that point where you're going to find people, and I know every case you get 12, and I'm wondering, can you ask potential jurors, who'd you vote for?
I think you could, but I don't think the judge would do that. Here's why. I think who you voted for doesn't necessarily mean where you're going to come down on this case. Because let's just look at the election between 2016 and 2020. Many people who voted, say, for President Trump in 2016 didn't vote for him in 2020. Many people who voted for Barack Obama voted for Mr. Trump in 2016. So I think you could ask that, but it would be very unusual for a judge to allow that.
So how do these attorneys figure out who these jurors really are? If you send out the questionnaire ahead of time, and so many months ahead of time, does that mean they have time to research these jurors, go through their social media, see what they're posting? Because you can get a pretty good idea about people and the way they see the world from what they post and what they share.
Well, that's absolutely correct. What's going to happen is the following. As soon as those juror questionnaires are filled out and returned to court and given to the parties, you're going to see massive investigations of the potential jurors. The first thing both sides are going to do is go to their social media sites, whether it's LinkedIn or Facebook or whatever it is, Instagram. They're going to go through property records, see what kind of a house or condo that they live in. They're going to go through criminal histories. They're going to go through everything to try to profile each potential juror and see if that would be a good juror for their side.
And looking at my understanding of the Kenosha jury pool is that it's relatively split, that you've got left and you've got right. What does your experience tell you about that jurors in that area, how they break down, and whether or not they're more to the right, more to the left, or there's actually kind of a sort of an even type of split going on there?
It's basically an even type of split for one reason. Kenosha, the county itself, though it is basically more rural than it is urban, that's quite true. It is next to two urban centers, very large urban centers, to the north, Milwaukee, and to the south, Chicago. So that's why you're going to get an interesting split in the case. You may have people who are very conservative and for firearm rights and believe that Mr. Rittenhouse was fully within his right to go to Kenosha to try to protect property. And you might have other people who are, say, more liberal or to the left, not supporting gun rights, and who thinks Mr. Rittenhouse should never have involved himself.
All right. I only have like 5 seconds here. Do you think 12 people can ultimately agree on a verdict for that case? I know it's early.
Yes, I do, because I think most of the time jurors try very hard to try to get an answer in the case. Yes, you have many examples of hung juries, but when you put them up to juries who actually get to the bottom, whether it's guilty or not guilty, most of the time they're able to do that.
All right, Joe Tamburino, join us tonight in Minneapolis. Thank you so much, sir. Great to see you.
Thank you. Nice seeing you.